been watching Cityline, you will know wallpaper is very much in style, but it can be a bit of a challenge. So Darren is here now to walk us through how to sort of put your wallpaper up the right way. You've got tips for us, right?
Yeah, and there's many different kinds of wallpaper. Well, there's three essentially. There's the old school where you kind of get it wet in the tray. That's a little messy.
Yes.
There's this one that I brought today, which is like you put an adhesive on the wall, and then there's actually peel and stick wallpaper as well.
Yes.
So I like the last two because they're a little bit easier to work with and it's a little bit more clean. I like this style of wallpaper because it's got a bit of texture to it and it's got, you know, it kind of makes the room. I wouldn't do an entire room of this,
right,
but I would love an accent wall or something like this.
I love this wallpaper.
I think it looks
great.
So it's pretty simple to install, really. I want to start with measuring the wallpaper to see the length, right?
Okay.
So I would take my tape measure, and this one is just over 20.5 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a line that's about 20 inches from the wall. And the reason why I'd want to do that is so that I don't have a whole bunch of overlap in the corner.
Okay.
So I make a mark here. I'm going to make a mark at 20 inches. And then I'm just going to draw a plumb line. So that's to make sure that my wallpaper goes in completely vertical and that I don't have anything happening in terms of, you know, moving away from the wall. So all I need to do is draw a single line, and that's my start line.
Amazing.
Right? That's my plumb line there.
And that's super important because if you know you want the bricks to match up.
Yeah, absolutely.
The pattern to match up.
Now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to start applying adhesive, and obviously I'm going to start in this section here.
Okay.
So I'm just going to apply my adhesive. And this is, you know, you want to get a pretty liberal coat of adhesive on there so that your paper is going to stick and get equal coverage.
Now, Darren, do you have to go pretty quick with this part of it?
Because I wouldn't do any more than probably 1 or 2 strips at a time. That would be about the maximum.
All right.
Now, when I get into the corner here, I can either use the roller or I can switch over to the brush.
Yeah.
But you want to have both, right? Because you're going to have some areas where you're going to have to get some brush work done, some roller work. But in the bottom here and also in the corners, I can just brush on the adhesive. And then once the adhesive is in, you know, now I just start laying out the paper. So really, I'm going to start with a piece. I kind of pre-cut my pieces so they're a little long, probably 2 to 3 inches of overlap. And I want to just start, and I'm going to lay my first piece in.
Is this a one-man job?
It can be, yeah.
Okay.
Now you can, I see where I'm hitting like half the brick here.
Yep.
I'd probably move that down, and I would start so that I've got like almost a full piece there.
Okay.
And I'm going to line up this side here, and I just have to start with my line. And once I've got that all lined up,
then it's almost just paint by numbers.
Yeah. And it's literally, I'm just going to work myself from my line out. And as long as my line is nice and plumb and my paper's on my line, now I just take my hands and I can start to work that paper out. And you see where it's going to bind a little bit in the corner, but that's okay. I just start to work it in.
So you're getting rid of all of the air bubbles there. You want to make sure there's no pockets. That looks absolutely perfect.
And now I'm just going to take this tool and I'm just going to work this into the corner, right? Get a nice flat edge all the way across here. And that's where I start. And I go all the way down to the bottom and all the way into the corner.
Nice.
Just get a nice even pressure across the paper. Get out all those bubbles, get it sticking to the adhesive. And then I use this as well with a little knife, and I just take the X-Acto knife, and I'll just score this in the corner all the way down. Or if I'm coming around the corner, I would just leave this piece in here and come and overlap right to that. Put a little bit of seam adhesive, and we're done. And we cut it at the bottom, we cut it at the top, and then we just work our way in and work our way out.
Do you, let's say you were going around the corner here and doing this part of the wall as well. Do you want to start in the corner?
No, I want it to start here so that I can overlap in the corner. I don't want to start in the corner. And then my next piece obviously comes in, and the only thing I have to do for my next piece is just match the pattern.
Right.
So you can see here, it's a little bit tricky, but I have to just kind of keep working my way up. I would start with something like where it's, you got the double here. Yeah. And I would say, okay, where does it line up? Oh, and you see that it lines up. It's actually, I missed it. It's down here.
It almost like that light one has to go with that one,
yeah, like you've got to figure out where it'll line up exactly, and you just keep going up the paper until you find out where the line hits the other one, and that's when you put your seam there.
See, if you're someone like me, that would make you very excited. I'm like, I'm just going to get it right exactly where it lines up.
Yeah, exactly.
And do you want this to overlap at all when you're doing this?
No,
not at all.
On this seam here, you want them to butt together. You don't want them to overlap.
All right.
There's my line right there, actually.
There it is.
So
okay, that's perfect. So
they're
as you
going-
can see, wallpaper has come a long way. Now that you don't have to do the dipping through all of the adhesive and putting it up on the wall, it doesn't stay there forever anymore. It's a lot easier than you think. I mean, you might even want to do this on a weekend project. So
It's something you can do in a couple of hours.
Darren, thank you so much for that great tips.